What's going on, Diablo 2 fans? Dobrunsky here, and today we're going to be talking about something that I get asked a lot on stream, and that's the use of the Player X command. We're going to talk about where it makes sense to change the player difficulty setting, mechanics around it, changes to the no drop rate, monster experience, and monster health and damage. And then we're going to finish things up with a cool little trick that I learned actually through another YouTuber. But it's a cool trick that you guys can learn to change your player's difficulty setting quicker when you're playing the game. Anyways, with that being said, let's hop into the video. So I get asked all kinds of questions about why or how I use the Players X command during my live Diablo 2 streams. And it's probably because a lot of players spend a lot of time on Battle.net where a feature like this is not available to them. So if you guys are new to single player, I'm going to start off with the very basics and then we're going to go from there. And as a disclaimer, I should note that I'm discussing the use of this command in relation to the most up-to-date patches of Diablo 2. So what is the Players X command and how do you use it in single player? Basically, it's a feature that allows you to manually change the difficulty of monsters. It runs along the same idea of monsters getting stronger when more people join your game in Battle.net. This command is executed by entering /players in chat with any number from 1 to 8 after players. So for example, /players3 will change the difficulty to simulate 3 people on a server, while /players7 will change the difficulty to match the equivalent of 7 people on a server. So now that we know how to use the players command, let's talk about what changes in the game when you actually change the difficulty. The quick and easy answer is more drops, more experience, and tougher monsters. But let's go into a little bit more detail than that. First, let's cover the changes to monsters' hit points. Monsters receive a 50% increase in life for every successive player level increase. The same monster on Players 8 difficulty will have a 450% life increase in comparison to the Players 1 version of itself. The damage and attack rating of monsters also scales in relation to Players difficulty, but the difference only scales at a rate of 6.25% per level. The experience per monster scales in the exact same fashion as monster hit points. It scales at 50% XP increase per level. Things get a little bit more complicated when you take experience penalties based on character level into consideration, but I'm not going to cover that in this video. And finally, upping the player's difficulty level decreases the no drop chance on monsters. The no drop chance works exactly how it sounds. Every monster has a chance of not dropping an item, and upping the player's difficulty decreases the chances of that happening, with a few exceptions that I'm going to cover. Super unique monsters and champions always drop a specific number of items no matter what the difficulty is. So super uniques like Eldritch, Shank, and Pindle, for example, will always drop 2 items, while uniques and champions will always drop 1 item. This is why you often see people farming areas like the pits on Players 1 difficulty only targeting uniques and champions because it's the most efficient way of solely targeting unique and set items. Players difficulty 5 caps the no drop rate on bosses. However, the difference between Players 3 and 5 is so little that Players 3 is generally considered to be the best difficulty for boss farming. Normal white monsters' no drop chance is reduced on Players 3, 5, and 7. Now this is really important. Only odd numbers affects the no drop chance. I get asked all the time why I farm on Players 7 and not Players 8, and that's because in terms of magic finding, Players 8 doesn't help me. It only makes the monsters harder to kill with no drop benefits. So let's take a look at a few examples of where changing the player's difficulty in Diablo 2 could be beneficial. Lower Kurast is a great example. The rune drop patterns are directly related to the player's difficulty setting. Players 7 difficulty is generally considered to be the best for rune drop patterns in LK farming because it significantly increases the number of desirable high rune patterns. If you'd like to know more about lower Kurast farming, I've left a link in the description of the video for a more detailed guide that I made a few months back. The player's command can also really benefit people who are grinding XP for those really hard to reach levels like level 98 or 99. 2 bosses in particular, which are generally used for grinding experience, are capped at a specific level. Diablo, who is capped at Players 7, and Baal, who is capped at Players 3. So manually setting the difficulty to that level makes sense when you're trying to optimize single player XP grind. So the last thing I'm going to cover is a few basic frequently asked questions about the player command and a little trick to quickly execute the player's difficulty command. I learned this trick from Diablo 2 YouTuber Malawiglen, so big shout out to you, buddy. First, the frequently asked questions. Number 1, do you need to reset the difficulty for every new game? The answer is no. The difficulty will remain on whatever you set the player's difficulty to until you either manually change it or close Diablo 2 entirely. Number 2, can you change the difficulty after a monster is spawned? The answer again is no. Bale waves are a really good example. If I change the difficulty before Bale casts a wave, then they will be set on that particular player's difficulty. But if he spawns a wave and then I change the difficulty, it's too late and I have to wait for the next wave for the changes to take effect. So the last thing to cover is the little trick that allows you to quickly change the player's difficulty without having to type it every time you want to change it. Now this is accomplished by entering the player's X command once manually and then spamming the command by hitting up and enter multiple times. Do this at least 10 times. You'll now be able to exit the game and re-enter with this command saved within the game. Simply hit enter and up to instantly bring up the player's command and then just change the number to whatever you want it to be. It's a great way to save some time if you're frequently changing the player's difficulty. Well guys, there you have it. That's everything that you need to know about the player's X command. Now I know it's nothing crazy or groundbreaking, but if I get asked something a couple hundred times on stream, I'm going to make a video about it. So this is for all you guys that ask me questions about the player X command. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you could throw a like on it and share it if you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate that. And let me know in the comment section below if there's any other basic kind of videos you'd like me to make. I'll kind of get to them as I can between streaming and other videos that I plan on making. But yeah, guys, so I just hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you on my next stream or my next Diablo 2 video. Have a great day.